So, with the RDR1 review now being done, I can get to some very overdue promised videos. I have several, number 4 will shock you. And we'll begin with Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. When it comes to horde shooters, I generally come with relatively low expectations for the Gore. When you have masses of enemies, there is only so much you can do for each one, but those of you who are familiar know that we do actually have some cool exceptions. There is the classic that is Left 4 Dead 2, especially impressive given its age. We have a more recent example of Darktide, and even World War Z had some cool things going for it. So in this video, we'll see how Space Marine 2 does. As for big mutilation, dismemberment will usually be heads, limbs, and characters can get cut in half. Here we have the vertical, but there is a horizontal too. What I will say is, you'll be feeling it kind of more with the human characters. It is still very much there with the alien-like things, but it will feel more impactful when you're dealing with human enemies. And you will have gibing obliterations too. As for non-dismembering damage, there actually is a response at the point of impact. However, for the most part, what you will be seeing is generic splatter all over the body. A response at the point of impact is there, but you won't be seeing it very much in the actual gameplay. As for the blood spilling, for larger characters you will have response stains about every other hit. For smaller ones, you usually have them at the fatal hit, and there will be blood pools below severed body parts. The character himself will be on clean ground, but the severed extremity will have a puddle. So, nothing remotely remarkable, but if you could have it all pile up, all the big stains, every dead character and the severed bits, you could still have really cool outcomes. Not from detail, there isn't much, but just from the sheer amounts. And here we have my absolute biggest issue with the response aspect of the game. The mess will be vanishing and there is no way to configure it. Just a huge miss out. What this kind of a game may lack in detail, it can make up in environmental transformations. You begin with a clean location and, as hordes of enemies are coming at you, you may not have a great deal of detail in the body damage and the blood spinning, but you would very much see the surroundings gradually get messier and messier, with blood and bodies piling up. There is some degree of awareness to the importance of that in the dev team. Quite a few locations have very nice and definitely messy pre-made aftermaths, but once again, those are entirely pre-made and in the actual gameplay, in the combat, you won't have anything remotely close. I think that in a game like this, aftermaths are a factor that should be taken into account from the get-go. But if it isn't, the amount of blood and bodies should for the very least be easily configurable on PC. As for the animations, aside from the regular hit and death responses, which are there, you will have a very nice variety of finishers. That is the key feature in this aspect, and it is just awesome. You will have many prompts for them as you play. As I mentioned, there is a good amount of finishers for the various characters. They often include finishing the character with his own body parts, and Combined with the dismemberment you have in game, they will be quite satisfying. I can't say that they make up for the sponginess of the bosses, but that is a fun way to finish those sequences. Not all games do it, definitely nowhere this well. In conclusion, I think that for a game like this, the body damage and the blood spilling would largely be okay if aftermaths were a thing. Sometimes quantity can make up for a lack of detail. What I find most memorable here though is the finishers. I think they did those and implemented them in the flow of the combat quite well. However, with that being said, if your interest here is just response mechanics alone, I can't recommend it. That is it for this video, do let me know how you feel in the comment section, and subscribe, lots more to come. Until next time!